king is dead. Long live the new king. When the 702 horsepower Ram 1500 TRX went out of production last year, it relinquished its crown as the most powerful pickup on sale with an internal combustion engine. In fact, the most powerful of all time. Close behind it, though, was the Ford F-150 Raptor R that came out in 2023 with a 700 horsepower V8. But now that the TRX is out of the way, this guy's claimed the throne. Ford figured out how to crank out an extra 20 horsepower for 720, so there is no doubt this is the new king. So when the Raptor R first came out in 2023 with 700 horsepower, you knew the Ram 1500 TRX had 702. Why did it take till now to get to 720? Was that a surprise for us or something you really had to work to do?
Yeah, it was a quick program in 23, so we didn't have the time to change the hood inner that we wanted to. So it worked out real nice to have the 24 model year right after. So the hood inner's been modified to open up area for the air inlet to grab more air. And the 5.2 supercharger just wants air like you wouldn't believe. So it gave it a chance to breathe a little bit more, got us 20 horsepower and a little bit of smoothness in the 640 foot-pounds of torque, smoothed out nicely. So that gives us the 720 and the 640 for torque.
It's otherwise mostly the same truck, although it does have this new modular front bumper that can accommodate either a 12,000-pound Ward winch or an LED off-road light bar. But it still has all the sensors in it that are required for the Raptor R's electronic driver aids. Of course, the Ford Raptor and Raptor R's big party trick has always been its suspension system. This one features the latest version of the Fox live valve shock absorbers, which are computer controlled and offer a range of characteristics that includes a softer ride zone for soaking up bumps at high speeds off-road, plus compression and droop zones that firm things up to keep the vehicle from bottoming out.
So a lot of what we do is try to make a trophy truck right out of the factory, which a lot of it has to do with the suspension. So we have a big 5-link we introduced with the Gen 3 back in 22. And now we've added, a half-inch of travel. So on a 37 truck like the R, we got 13.5 inches in the front, 14 in the rear. And we can use our new dual live valve technology to take advantage of all that travel because we're controlling both jounce and rebound. And we do it to all 4 corners. We have the ability to know exactly how you're driving. So we've written algorithms because Ford Performance does their own algorithm development. And so it's people who've driven in the trucks actually write the software. So that gives us the ability to really dial in all that damping capability, both in jounce and rebound. So if you're actually rolling, we can actually say, hey, this shock's gonna actually control you in jounce while the other side of the truck's controlling you in rebound. So you have that total security when you drive it, that you're decoupled from the surface. And then you've got the steering controllability with the improvements we did in the steering, that you can drive faster, more controlled. So it'll basically, as we always say, it'll flatter a novice and reward an expert.
Tell me as simply as you can, the shocks themselves, how they work with the valves and the ride.
Yeah, so it's 3 inches, and it's really long shock. So as you go through motion, we have position sensitivity, which means it has the ability to bleed off force as you go through positions, so a mechanical damping. And on top of that, we have, as you go up in jounce, we have a valve that controls it. And it's as simple as this. It's just a valve that, in essence, has a piece of copper and some steel. We put a coil around it, and it is basically an orifice that opens up to provide extra boost in the damping, if you think about it that way. And that damping is what controls the wheel end as it hits a object, either in jounce and rebound. It controls that wheel as it comes up. You don't feel it in the seat. And as it goes down, it just doesn't drop down. We actually control it as it goes down. And the same goes for if you're going over moguls, we can use the rear and the front together to actually control the moguls so you won't get the pitch. And it's really controlling the wheel end as it goes up or down in all 4 wheels. So as the surface changes underneath you, we can actually keep it all within the shock damping force and not within you.
And don't say this ever doesn't have any clothes, because it actually has a new grille and headlight design. Aside from that, what you got here is a Ford F-150 that you can pack pretty much everything into. And I should hope you get a lot of features because this is a starting price for $112,000. So when we were testing the Ford Ranger Raptor a couple of weeks ago, I said that that was much better on tight trails than an F-150 Raptor or Raptor R, just because these things are big and need open space. Well, here we go. Open space, the Johnson Valley in California. Can't ask for more room than this. Now, some of the video you're about to see was shot by us. Some of it was shot by Ford because this thing's so fast, we couldn't get a cameraman who could keep up. But the Ford video will give you a good idea what's going on here today, even though the driver is certainly no match for me. So the Raptor R comes standard with 37-inch tires. One new feature the Raptor R got for 2024 is a head-up display, which is actually very useful off-road. Tells you what setting the four-wheel drive system's in, the pitch and the roll and the yaw, and of course, the speed. Now, while the Raptor R is primarily a dune basher, don't sleep on its ability to rock crawl. It has a locking rear diff and a torsion front diff. Might not be the Bronco, but can definitely act like a goat. But there is nothing it likes more than a fresh sandbox to play in. It's great to have a purpose in life, and for the Raptor R, this is it. I lied, there actually is one thing this likes more than playing in the sand, and that's jumping over it at 60 miles an hour. Oh man, that was like someone catching an egg and not breaking it. Oh, hang on a minute, here we go, straight away, let's see what this can do. 70, that's 90, 100, top speed on this is limited to 112, I'm not gonna do that, well, yeah I am, 108, 110, 112, 113. Wow, I'm not supposed to do 113. I'm gonna slow it down. Woo! One thing I also gotta mention, been out here in 100-degree weather all day and the engine temperature hasn't moved an inch. I think a good way to get your money's worth out of this truck is to just do this 112,000 times.